It was a frosty December evening in New York City. The holiday season was in full swing, with lights adorning every building and carolers singing on nearly every corner. Donald Trump, wearing a long overcoat and his signature red tie, was walking down Fifth Avenue. Despite the bustling crowds and festive atmosphere, his mind seemed elsewhere, consumed with thoughts of his next big project. As he approached a corner near St. Patrick's Cathedral, he noticed a young boy sitting on the icy steps. The boy couldn't have been more than 10 years old, shivering in a thin, torn jacket. Beside him was a cardboard sign that read, "Lost my mom. Trying to get home. Please help." Trump paused. The boy's pale face and teary eyes struck a chord in him. He walked closer and knelt down. "Hey there, son," Trump said, his voice soft and gentle. "What's your name?" The boy hesitated, his lips trembling from the cold. Mark," he stammered. "Mark, where's your mom? What happened?" Trump asked, concern etched on his face. Mark wiped his eyes and explained in a shaky voice. "We were at the train station. She went to get something, and I couldn't find her again. I waited and waited, but she never came back." He sniffled. I just want to go home." Trump felt a pang in his chest. He couldn't imagine the fear and loneliness the boy must have felt. He placed a comforting hand on Mark's shoulder. "Don't worry, Mark. We're going to figure this out together." Ignoring the curious glances from passers-by, Trump pulled out his phone and called his assistant. "Get in touch with Child Services and the police," he instructed, "and send someone to pick us up. I'm at St. Patrick's Cathedral." As they waited, Trump took off his scarf and wrapped it around Mark's neck. Then he guided him to a nearby coffee stand and bought him a hot chocolate. Sitting together on a bench, Trump listened as Mark talked about his mom, their small apartment in Queens, and his favorite toy car that he carried in his pocket. To keep Mark distracted and calm, Trump began sharing stories from his own childhood. He talked about growing up in Queens, working at construction sites with his father, and the lessons he learned about resilience and hard work. Mark listened intently, his little hands wrapped around the warm cup of hot chocolate. Within minutes, a black SUV arrived, and Trump gently helped Mark into the vehicle. As they drove through the city, Mark gazed out of the window, his eyes wide with wonder at the sparkling lights and holiday decorations. Trump pointed out landmarks, telling him about the history of the city and the importance of staying strong during tough times. They arrived at a nearby precinct, where the police had already been informed of the situation. An officer approached them, holding a file. "We've located his mother," he said. "She's been frantically searching for him all evening. She's on her way here now." Mark's eyes lit up, and for the first time that night, he smiled. Trump patted him on the back, reassuring him that everything would be okay. While they waited, Trump noticed a small Christmas tree in the corner of the precinct. He walked over, grabbed a few ornaments, and brought them back to Mark. "Here, let's decorate this together while we wait," he said. As they hung the ornaments, Trump asked Mark about his dreams and what he wanted to be when he grew up. "I want to be an astronaut," Mark said shyly. Trump smiled and said, "With your determination, I have no doubt you'll reach the stars someday." Moments later, a woman burst through the doors of the station. "Mark," she cried, rushing to embrace him. Tears streamed down her face as she held her son tightly. Trump watched the reunion from a distance, his heart warmed by the sight. The woman turned to him, her voice trembling with gratitude. "Thank you, Mr. Trump. I don't know what we would have done without you." Trump shook his head. "No need to thank me. Just take care of him and make sure he knows he's loved." Before leaving, Trump reached into his coat pocket and handed Mark a small envelope. Inside, "There's something to help you and your mom have a better holiday," he said with a wink. Mark opened it to find a generous gift card and a note that read, "Always believe in yourself." As Trump stepped back into the cold night, the city lights seemed a little brighter. He felt a quiet sense of fulfillment, knowing that for one family, the holiday season had been saved. And for Mark, it was a night he would never forget. The night a stranger had become his hero. Walking back down Fifth Avenue, Trump took a deep breath, feeling the crisp winter air fill his lungs. He glanced at the holiday displays in the store windows and thought about how small acts of kindness could create ripples of hope. That evening wasn't about wealth or power. It was about humanity and the simple joy of making someone else's life a little better.